What a headshot! What a head!
How's it guys, this is Dayvy, FPL, and welcome back to the Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. Now in this video I'll be taking you guys through my free draft for the upcoming double / blank GAMEWEEK 25. Now I want to get this out first of all, no, this doesn't mean that I'm going to use the free chip. I just want to give you guys some clarification because I'm pretty sure I'll get comments on my Twitter page and on my Discord server, why am I using the chip? So even though I might not be using the chip for this upcoming double / blank GAMEWEEK 25, I have had a lot of questions over my Discord server about why I'm not considering it. So there might be those of you out there that are actually using the free chip, but even if you're not, this is going to kind of give you guys some clarification as to why you should use it. So the disadvantages, the advantages to using it in double / blank GAMEWEEK 25, I'll be going over those first, but then obviously the draft will come afterwards. Now it's been forever since I actually have made a draft video, but I'm pretty sure over these upcoming game weeks, it's going to be draft building season. So if you guys are interested in this video, sit back, relax, and let's get straight into it. Now before we go over the actual draft, I always like to go over the fixtures. Let's give you guys the actual context of double GAMEWEEK 25. Now in terms of a free hit, obviously I'm not going to be going over any of the blank GAMEWEEK fixtures because you simply will be avoiding those if you guys do choose your drafts. So in terms of the double game weeks, we do have 4 teams doubling, so relatively kind of small double game week. We have the Liverpool vs Wolves fixture that was moved to double GAMEWEEK 25. That's going to have a double for Liverpool of Crystal Palace away and Wolves at home. Vice versa for Wolves, it's going to be Fulham away and Liverpool away, so 2 away games on the bounce for that Wolves side. Now let's just focus on these 2 teams quickly and why I think that you guys should be kind of tripling up or doubling up on them. Definitely think most of the tension on those transfers in and those free hits is going to be on that Liverpool side. A Mo Salah, a Darwin Núñez, maybe even a Jota punt could be on the cards, but is it worth getting a Trent and Robbo double up? Now please pay attention to Liverpool's game tonight against Real Madrid in the Champions League because that might give us some context about who's going to start in double GAMEWEEK 25. Then in terms of that Wolves side, kind of struggling to score goals at the moment. Their XG hasn't been too high this entire season, but I guess their defense has been pretty okay. Now unfortunately with that Wolves side, a little bit tough to kind of predict the players you probably want, for example their striker, their fullbacks, that sort of thing, as they do have quite a stacked bench. So in terms of Wolves, the fixture against Fulham away looks pretty strong. The Liverpool away game is even good from an attacking point of view, but it is quite hard to predict which Wolves attackers are going to start each game. Now if you guys do support Wolves, maybe watch them on a weekly basis, comment in down below which attackers you think will start both games. Now the next fixture move was going to be Arsenal vs Everton, so that's going to give Arsenal a double game week of Leicester away and Everton at home, whereas Everton have Aston Villa at home, but Arsenal away. Now if there was going to be a team that I would recommend you guys tripling up on if you haven't already, it's going to be those Arsenal assets with the lovely double game week. Now in my opinion, they have the best fixtures in terms of the double. Leicester away and Everton at home, I know both sides have been playing kind of better from an attacking and a defensive point of view, but I just think with the way that Arsenal are playing, and since they're in the title race and top of the table, they're going to continue this hot form. So please, if you guys don't have a triple up, I would recommend getting one, even if it's going to be for hits. Then finally that Everton side, Aston Villa at home, Arsenal away, 2 tough games in my opinion from a defensive point of view, where I do think more of the emphasis is going to be. We've just seen Aston Villa score 2 goals against Arsenal. They're on a very hot kind of scoring streak, and that's why I do worry about the clean sheet chances in this Everton double. Now yes, in that Arsenal at home game a couple of game weeks ago, they did manage to keep a clean sheet, but I think that Arsenal are going to rebound, and they're probably going to seek revenge. So clean sheet odds for them, maybe not too high, but I guess there might be a chance, as with every double game week. So going over these 4 sides, these are definitely the sides that you guys should focus on the free hit. As with a smaller double, you can avoid the blanks, but unfortunately you can't get kind of the best fixtures. Now in terms of ranking, I would probably say go for those Arsenal assets, followed by the Liverpool assets, and then between Wolves and Everton, it's quite close because with Everton you're getting kind of good expected minutes, whereas Wolves have the better fixtures. But let me know in the comments down below, what side are you guys targeting, because you probably already have an Arsenal triple up. But now go on to the next talking point of should you free it, and I think this is very important to kind of consider. Obviously I don't have the context of your guys' team, so let's just say that you have 2 players for example, I might not know that. So I'll be going over some more general points about should you free it or should you not. Now for my own team, I've already mentioned that I won't be free hitting. Currently I have about 8 players for the upcoming double / blank GAMEWEEK 25, and I believe that's enough. Yes, I might take a few hits to get me 10 players, 11 options, but I think that's worth it at the end of the day, because I think for my own team, a future game week might be better for the free hit. So super team dependent, but what I would say is that if you guys can maybe get 9 options, 8 options, 10 options, even with the -4 or -8, I would keep it. It's a little bit rich there. I made a whole video about a free draft, but I guess there might be those of you guys out there with very few options that might want to use the chip. Now the reason I'm so kind of keen on taking hits to get these options in is because of blank GAMEWEEK 28. So if you guys don't know, the FA Cup games will be happening after GAMEWEEK 25. We'll then get clarity on who's going to blank in GAMEWEEK 28, and right now, the Arsenal and the Everton assets have a confirmed fixture in blank GAMEWEEK 28. So that's why I recommend it even more. If you guys don't have a triple up on those Arsenal assets, get them in. If you want to take a minus for it from Martinelli to Saka, that could be worth it. As mentioned, they have a fixture in blank Game Week 28. Same with those Everton assets, unfortunately, their fixture in Game Week 28 is against Chelsea away, which is a little bit of a tougher game on paper. Now between Wolves and Liverpool, one of those two sides will have a fixture in blank Game Week 28, so you guys are kind of gambling there. And the reason for that is that Liverpool's fixture in 28 is against Fulham, and then Wolves have a fixture against Leeds. So Leeds and Fulham play each other in the FA Cup, so that's why one of the teams of Liverpool and Wolves will have a fixture in blank Game Week 28. So very hard to kind of predict, but what I'm hoping for is I'll bring in these Liverpool assets. I think they're worth it because of the double game week, and then if they do have a blank Game Week 28 fixture, it definitely makes it worth it even for a hit. It's a little bit hard there to kind of predict what we're going to be going for, but what I will say is there is a chance that we might get a Liverpool fixture. Another reason I guess for not using the free hit, as a lot of us do own these United assets, I think they're worth kind of transferring out a blank game week, Liverpool away, Southampton at home, and then probably a blank in 28. I think it's worth transferring them out. So we've gone over the reasons for the blank game week 28 kind of talking point there, that we might actually get some players that feature in that blank game week. So you're almost taking a hit or transfer for a future game week, which is worth it in my opinion. But I guess the last kind of talking point, and the reason why I'm not free hitting, is I believe that there are future game weeks that might be better for this chip. We've just gone over the 4 teams that double. I won't lie to you guys, the 4 teams there aren't too exciting. When you guys see the draft, you probably will reiterate what I'm saying. Unfortunately, I don't think there's much upside with these double game week options. And that's why really you guys have to have like 2 or 3 options that play in blank Game Week 25 to justify using the chip, as I believe even with a few hits you guys should be fine. But you guys can let me know your reasoning in the comments down below if you actually are using the chip, but I highly doubt there's many of you. But now let's go on to the actual draft, and this is going to be kind of the price points. We'll be going over the formation as well. I'll tell you guys who the bench options are. Then the next talking point will be the team selection with all those good fixtures. Now what I will say is in the bank, I have 2.2 million left in the bank. So yes, a massive amount in the bank, so you guys can make some upgrades. But this is a very kind of template free draft that I would go for, but I'll discuss some changes later on. Now starting in goal, I've gone for Pickford at 4.4 million and Danny Ward at 4.0, but what I will say is that please upgrade Danny Ward if you guys do use the free hit. We have a lot of money in the bank. I simply just chose Ward here because if money's a bit tight in the bank, Ward's a fine replacement. Now the reason I went for Pickford is I just believe from an Everton point of view, yes, the fixtures might not be that great from a defensive point of view, but Pickford might make some saves there, and Sean Dyche is quite a defensive manager. Now the options that I was looking at is a potential Edison move. They have Bournemouth away, great fixture on paper, almost a guaranteed clean sheet I do believe, so therefore you guys are kind of getting a 6-point appearance. Other than that though, you could go for the Wolves goalkeeper, but between those two it's quite tight. Now moving into the back line, I've got the main defender that you probably want to get on a free hit, massive kind of differential points here. It's Trent Alexander-Arnold from Liverpool. Now at 7.3 million, yes, he is expensive, but as I said earlier on, 2.2 left in the bank, so you guys can afford the most premium defender in the game. Now Liverpool's XG conceded is simply terrible over the entire season, over the last kind of 6 game weeks, but I do believe there might be a little bit of a change in form right now after a couple of wins on the bounce. But please watch tonight's game against Real Madrid. If Liverpool look terrible again, you might want to stay clear of that Liverpool defense. Now next up is FPL defender I would recommend getting. It's Gabriel from Arsenal, the best defender in my opinion, but I do think if you want to take a punt, Zinchenko could be a good alternative. But I just believe that Gabriel's being targeted on most set pieces, and I do think the header is coming. It's just a matter of time. So best Arsenal defender, no question marks about that. Definitely get one of those Arsenal defenders in your team because the chance of a clean sheet in those 2 games looks pretty strong. Next up is going to be Tarkowski, so yes, we are doubling up on that Everton defense. Famous kind of last words there, but I do believe at 4.3 million, he's worth it, even if you're going for that attacking threat. So on the set pieces, always offers a header, and as mentioned with Pickford, there might be a clean sheet chance in that Aston Villa game. Now I have selected to go for a back 3, and the reason for that is I don't think the upside is that high in terms of the defensive options. But my 2 bench options are going to be Kilman from Wolves and finally Nathan Ake. Now Ake, I just slapped him in here as a Man City kind of coverage. Not expecting him to come on, but I wanted to show you a price point at 5.0 million. Now in terms of Kilman, you guys could always play Kilman over Tarkowski, as I do think maybe splitting the odds of this double game week on the Wolves side might be quite good, because they might actually keep 1 clean sheet in this double game week. Now moving on to midfield department, and the main option is going to be also Liverpool option. It's Mo Salah, differential in terms of the top 10k, top 100k, wherever you guys are ranked. And yes, he is expensive, but as with Trent, you guys can afford him with all his money in the bank. Now in terms of Salah, I definitely would recommend going from on a free hit because he's the most nailed Liverpool attacker to get. An example of this was this weekend. Klopp made 4 subs in terms of the attacking department, and 1 option actually remained, and that was Mo Salah, who played a full 90 minutes. Now yes, the Liverpool schedule is a bit congested, but I do believe Mo Salah's fitness is top tier, and that's why I do expect him to play the majority of minutes in this double game week. Now you guys might also want to captain him in terms of the double game week, but I'd probably go for the next option, and that's going to be Saka. So Saka for me, if you guys don't have him, I would get him in even for it, especially if you guys do want to captain him for double game week 25. He's currently my captain in terms of my team, and I just believe he's a great asset to have. Now in terms of all the kind of Arsenal attackers, I would recommend Saka the most. He's nailed on penalties, and that's all you want in a double game week. Now the next two midfielders is where things get a little bit kind of dicey. The replacements in terms of the double game week options aren't that great, and that's why I've gone for Sarabia from Wolves. So I mentioned with Wolves that they have great fixtures in terms of the double game week, and the only nailed kind of midfielder or attacker in my opinion is going to be Sarabia in that midfield department. Now if you guys can recommend another option, I'm all ears, but I do think Sarabia is the best option at 5.5 million. So I do actually think that Wolves kind of double game week fixtures are underrated, but after kind of losing their game on the weekend, I don't think many people have faith in them. But I still have enough faith to slap one of their players in my starting 11, and that's going to be Sarabia in that midfield slot. Now the final midfielder to go for, completing our kind of Everton triple up, it's going to be a Iwobi at 5.4 million. Now I watched Iwobi in game week at 23 when they did face Liverpool. Great kind of skills on his part, and I do believe he was the most kind of dangerous Everton attacker, and that's why I've gone for him in my midfield department. Now there might be some question marks, you might want to go for a Morpai in that forward department as your kind of third Everton asset, but I just favour Iwobi slightly. Now we'll be going for a 4 in the midfield department, so the last option is a bench option, and I've gone for Ruben Neves. Now the reason for Ruben Neves is that he's simply nailed in that Wolves lineup, and that's at 5.4 million I'm willing to go there. But just a reminder, he will probably be first on our bench. Now finally going over the forward department, and I've got a single game week option, so yes, on a free hit, I've still gone for a single game week option. You probably guessed that it's Erling Haaland at 11.8 million. Now please remember, these prices are where I kind of bought them, so this won't be the price that you guys can buy them at now. It's the halfway point between when I bought them and their current selling price. I just think against Bournemouth away, if Haaland does start, it could be a haul on the cards. I know I said that against Nottingham Forest on the weekend, but I do believe if he does convert his chances, you still would want him in your FPL team. Now his effective ownership might be the only reason why I am going for him in my squad, but I think you have to have some Man City coverage in this lovely fixture. We're then not going to complete the Arsenal triple up with Nketiah. I still believe that Nketiah is the best kind of attacker to get besides Saka. I know Odegaard's there, Martinelli's there, Trossard's there, but if you guys have seen the chances that Nketiah is having, he has to score one of them in the near future. So if any player's kind of due a goal, it's probably Nketiah. If you guys have seen his XG over the past couple of game weeks, absolutely mental, and that's why I would choose him on my free hit, as this in my opinion is the best Arsenal triple up. So congrats if you guys do have this in your normal team, but I don't, so if I was to use a free hit, I'd choose to bring him in. Now the final option in our forward department and the final player in our team is going to be Darwin Núñez. He actually trained yesterday before the Real Madrid game tonight, so he should be back for that fixture, and I think he should be back for the double game week 25. Now he is definitely a punt. What I would say is if you guys watch my kind of transfer plan video, if you guys are going to use transfers and hits, I probably wouldn't go for Darwin Núñez. I probably would go for Trent or Robbo over him, because his expected minutes unfortunately aren't that great. With Gakpo, Jota, Firmino, there might be some rotation, but I still do believe Darwin Núñez is first choice, and I trust the Liverpool attack more than the defense, so I would go with him. But if you guys do want to go for Robbo and Trent as kind of an expected minutes combo, then you guys can definitely do that. But as I said, I do prefer the punt on a free hit. So overall guys, it's going to be the team in terms of the price point. Let's go over the actual fixtures to give you guys the total picture. So going over the actual team in terms of the fixtures, you guys will see 2.2 million left in the bank. There's a lot of money left in the bank, so you guys can make an upgrade if you do please. So going on to our bench, I already spoken about the bench. Danny Ward, who I would upgrade if you guys do choose to use the chip. Then you got Ruben Neves, Kilman, and Nathan Ake. Now we're obviously going to be left with Pickford starting between the sticks, Aston Villa at home, Arsenal away. Tough fixtures on paper from a defensive point of view. Moving into the defensive department, you got Trent, Gabriel, and Tarkowski, but you guys could go for Kilman over Tarkowski if you want to split the odds in terms of the defense. Then moving into our midfield department, I've got Salah, Saka, Sarabia, and Iwobi, and I've gone for the captain on Salah as a little bit of a differential. Then finally in terms of our forward department, Haaland with that Bournemouth away game, Darwin Núñez with a lovely double, and Nketiah is a must own on a free hit in my opinion. So if there's one thing in common between my options, it's double game weeks. I've kind of gone for the majority. I've gone for 10 out of 11 double game week options, which on a free hit I think you guys should go for, as that might give you the edge over non-free hit users. Now I've mentioned other rotations that you guys could make if you want to drop Darwin Núñez. You could do that, go for a Gakpo or Robbo, that's perfectly fine. Incorporating a Wolves defender could also be a play to go for if you don't trust Everton, but I honestly think that Sean Dyche might pull off a masterclass. But comment down below if you think this free hit's a masterclass or if you think it's an absolute terrible draft. Drop your own free hit draft down below if you guys are using the chip. Otherwise just stay tuned to my team selection where I won't be using the free hit, I'll be taking hits that cost. That's basically it for today guys, hope you did enjoy it. Please remember to like if you didn't subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. I'll be seeing you guys as I mentioned for the ultimate guide tomorrow and the team selection coming up on Thursday. Otherwise enjoy the European football. I'm going to sign off today FPL and I'm out, cheers, bye.